Oh, hey, you here to show me more cleavage?
Mr. Gussweiler,
Yes.
you are under arrest for the murder of Spencer Matthews.
Why?
We found your DNA all over the body. Your wife told us. She confessed that it was you. She knows it was you.
She also confessed that I was the best sex of her life, but I know that's full of shit.
Stand up.
You gonna frisk me?
No. I just said you're under arrest.
Can I finish my coffee?
No, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the
Really?
right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you.
Man, sounds like my wedding vows.
Do you understand these rights?
What you sounded like was official, but I can't recite what you said to me.
I need you to put your coffee cup down and let's go. We're going.
It's almost done. You gonna carry me? Carry me? I like to be tied up too.
Hi. Welcome to a special edition of 200. I'm Diane Walters. And today I'm going to be talking with the man accused of murder in a case that has been the talk of the nation. Some call him a killer. Some call him an avenger. Today he gives his side of the story. Mr. Gussweiler, thank you for agreeing to talk to me today.
Nice to be here. I've been watching your show every day. I mean, that's the only thing the inmates watch in the cafeteria.
Your story and this case has been an obsession for our country, like it has been some trashy reality show.
Yeah, I hate those white trash reality shows. Who watches that?
This is definitely not what you expected. At least the fame.
No, not at all. I mean, I hate being famous. I don't like people knowing my name, knowing my address. I don't like any of that. The only time I ever became famous is when I set the world record on my street, eating the most pudding in an hour. You want to know how many I ate? I ate 423 and a half, because the last one I kind of puked up. But yeah, pudding eating world champion right here.
My first question is, how did you meet Spencer Matthews?
He started working at this truck place I work. We drive trucks all over the place. I drive to different countries all the time, or I used to before I got locked up in this place. But he came in about, I don't know, how many is 3 years ago? Anyways, he came in. Young, good-looking little thing. Thinks he's hot because he used to drive trucks and race car derbies, all this. I don't believe him because I watched NASCAR, never seen an 18-wheeler on there. Nevertheless, we got introduced on his first day. I took him under my wing, and we didn't really talk that much, but that's how I met him.
Were you, at any time, friends with Spencer Matthews?
Well, one time he bought me a milkshake, but that was the only time I ever considered him a friend, because when you buy me stuff, especially milkshakes, because Daddy likes his milkshakes.
Before the affair scandal, did you have anything personal against him?
The only thing I can think of is he stole money from the company one time. I saw him take money from the safe. Even though it was only $5.64, that's still money that out of the company's pocket.
Your wife had an affair with the victim. I'm sure it was an awful thing to find out. How did you find out about the affair? How did you react? I'm sure you weren't happy.
No, I wasn't too happy, Mrs. Sawyer. How I found out about the affair was one of my buddies from work texted me saying that, hey, we think Daisy's screwing around with this Spencer Matthews kid. And I didn't want to think that because, well, even though Daisy's track record doesn't speak well about her, I didn't want to believe it. The one night I caught them in his truck, and at first I didn't know it was Daisy because you never know, he could have a transvestite. I'm not judging, but I made sure it was her, taking care of his private parts sweetly and nasty. And I was mad.
What really happened the night that you confronted them when you caught them in the act?
You know, I read the newspapers, I read the magazines, and I hear that people think that I did more than punch him. And I know a lot of people don't believe me, but that's all I did.
Then how do you explain your DNA being on Spencer Matthews and all over the crime scene?
That DNA bullshit so out of contacts. What happened was, I punched him out, knocked his ass clean out because I'm a UFC fighter for crying out loud, and I had to take a leak. And I was gonna take a leak on the poor guy. He was knocked out and he wasn't asking for it, so I went away a couple feet down yonder way, and I let out my lethal weapon and took a leak. And it was very windy out, very, very windy, very nippy. And the wind carried my pee, and it landed on poor Mr. Matthews, and my pee was all over the guy. And I don't do that on purpose, unless Daisy asks, which we can get into later if you want to talk about later over dinner. I mean, I'm busy after this if you want to talk about it, but that's how my DNA got on the sumbitch.
Do you believe you were framed? If so, who would have framed you?
Daisy's mother.
Your wife told the investigators you were the killer. Why would your wife say it when you say you're innocent?
Why would Daisy say I'm the best sex of her life when she told me that she had sex one time with Johnny Depp and it was the best sex of her life? See, she contradicts herself all the time.
Have you had any contact with your wife since you've been in prison?
Yeah, she came in for a conjugal visit once. Wasn't for me, it was for another inmate, but I got to see her in passing and she brought me McDonald's.
With your wife putting the blame on you, do you feel betrayed by her?
A little bit, but it's not the first time this has happened. She accused me of murder one time when her mother went missing. But come to find out, she just went to Vegas to get married to her 6th husband.
Do you think you could ever forgive your wife?
I could.
If you were indeed innocent, do you have a theory of who killed Spencer Matthews?
Daisy's mother. Her mom's a whore.
I'm not sure how aware you are, but with your involvement in this case, you're now being investigated for past unsolved crimes. Were you aware of this, Mr. Gusweiler?
I don't watch a lot of TV. We watch you all the time. Did you know you're the #1 broadcaster that all the inmates want to boink?
Well, crime number 1, you're possibly a suspect in the Black Dahlia. Did you have any involvement in Elizabeth Short's death in 1947?
I don't even like dolls, black or white.
Crime number 2, the Zodiac murders. Some say you're unaccounted for during 1968 to 1974. Can you explain this, Mr. Gusweiler?
Might have been my college years. A lot of that is blurred because I was drunk all the time.
Could OJ's gloves fit you?
No, because for Halloween one year, I got an O.J. Simpson costume and I had to return it because the glove didn't fit.
What's your alibi during John F. Kennedy's assassination?
I think I was in my mama's womb.
Did you witness the death of Tupac? If so, why haven't you come forward until now? In closing, your case has been a trending topic for several weeks now. Some think you're guilty. Some think you're innocent.
Some people think I'm sexy, some people think I'm revolting, and some people are right, some people are wrong.
When the verdict finally comes in, do you think you'll be acquitted, despite all the evidence against you?
I think so. I think my charm, my good looks will persuade all the jurors.
Mr. Gusweiler, thank you for sitting down with me today. I hope justice is served, no matter if you're found guilty or you're acquitted.
Me too. Thanks for having me. I love your show. I mean, everyone in the cafeteria who watches you, they want to boink you. You're the #1 broadcaster they want to boink. I mean, if you have time, we can go into the bathroom stall. I have my own stall. Come on.
There's no doubt you're guilty, but good luck, bud. Thank you for tuning in to a very special edition of 200-200. Tune in next week when we first sit down with Joe Biden, where I get to the bottom of whether or not he's behind those memes. I'm Diane Walters, saying goodnight from 200-200, where we're 100 times better than the rest. Happy New Year. Have you had any contact with your wife since you've been in prison?
Yeah? She came in for a conjugal visit. It's half a vision and visit. It's very kinky. What happened was, I punched him knocked his ass clean out because, you know, I'm a UFC fighter for crying out loud. Is it bad that I laugh at my own jokes?
No, because I did the same thing.
Happy New Year.
Let's go to the song.